Most people think that you have to pick small town peace and tranquility or San Antonio amenities and perks, but that is just flat not the case. Just 25 minutes away from San Antonio, there is a small town that has been incredibly underrated for a long time. I'm talking high quality custom homes on acreage lots. I'm talking outstanding rated school district that is only 4 days per week for the school and neighbors who actually care about each other. That place that we're going to talk about right now is Vernia, Texas. From what I've seen, the secret is getting out, so it won't stay underrated for very long. But in the meantime, let's talk about what makes Vernia so great. So Vernia is located right off of Highway 87 and 775. So that is about 25 miles southeast of downtown San Antonio, which is about the same distance away from town as Vernia is. Vernia is not in the hill country, so that is one potential negative, but there are still rolling hills, lots of big, beautiful oak trees everywhere, tons of space, and zero cookie cutter communities. Now, if you're looking at population numbers, it says there's about 1,600 people that live in Vernia, but it's a little misleading. There's a lot more people that are kind of in this area than you may think, and that's because most people live outside of the city limits. So it's very, very small in the geographic area, so it makes that population a lot smaller. But the overall Vernia school district has about 17,000 people in it. And if you look at the post office numbers, that actually serves about 15,000 people. So you can see it's a much bigger small town than that 1,600 number. The town is very proud of its Vernia high school. So you'll see bear country everywhere. You see these bronze bear statues on almost every major, restaurant or place of note in Vernia. They're just all over. Vernia really has a few big draws to it that bring a lot of people into this community, but also a couple negatives that we'll talk about at the end. One of the biggest things is the community atmosphere. Vernia is very centered around its community. Like I mentioned with the schools, the Friday football games, volleyball games, basketball games, baseball games, any of those things, they kind of surround the center of the high school, right? That it's very, very involved with a big community turnout. You also have only a very small number of good restaurants, and they're all local spots there in Vernia. That tends to lead to everybody going to those places and hanging out there quite often. So the Den is probably the main hub of social gathering. It's got a big outdoor area. You go there, hang out under the big, huge oak trees, eat dinner, grab a drink, just hang out while the kids run around in the play area. So many different things that allow you to and allow your kids to just get outside and be kids again, instead of just being focused on their video games or on the McDonald's playground, right? Which there is a McDonald's there in town too, so you got a couple fast food places, but the Den really shines as a big hub of the community. You've also got several other really popular restaurants. Rabel's Roadhouse is always busy, great barbecue there. The Shed, as far as local coffee. And then the other big thing that you see in Vernia, which is very, very unique and very specific to Vernia, is the shopping. So there are tons of boutiques for you ladies that love to go shopping. So there's actually, I think they do it on Thursdays. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that, but I know that they do pretty regularly a bus tour of the shops in Vernia, where you can go jump on this bus and they will take you from place to place to place. I think they even allow drinks, and there's different of the boutiques that serve wine and things like that. Like, there's all kinds of things focused around getting the community together for such a small town. It's really, really outstanding. And that doesn't even touch the community festival. So you got Bluebonnet Fest with the Bluebonnet Parade, very, very popular, big event. You've got the July 4th parade and the festival and event, and it happens there at City Park. They usually have a concert of some kind. They've got a good Christmas parade that happens, and a Christmas tree lighting. There's all kinds of stuff like that for a super small town. But again, the biggest benefit of having that and kind of close by is that you can live in the community. You don't have to leave the community for anything if you don't really need to, but you're super close to San Antonio if you need anything else like that. So to get the Costco over in Selma at Live Oak, you have about a 35 minute drive to get there. To get over to downtown San Antonio, same thing, about a 35 minute drive. To get into San Antonio, only about a 20-minute drive. So you're not far from all of these places. And then you got places like Seguin and New Braunfels that are exploding. You're about 30-45 minutes from those places. So you got all of these things within a good, comfortable driving distance without being right on top of you and having all that growth and congestion and traffic, really encroaching on your neighborhood, okay? And although Lavernia is super small, it's not one of those places that is completely opposed to growth and really embracing the amount of people that are coming to Lavernia. Because like I said, Lavernia is not going to be a secret for very much longer. I mean, you look 5-10 years ago at what Lavernia was, it is nothing like what it is today. And a lot of the residents that have been there for decades will tell you that, of course. That's like any place, but it is still definitely keeping that small town feel, even though there are more people there. So you have developments that are happening as far as improving the roads. All the schools are being improved right now, with a lot of good necessary improvements, because the school district itself serves about 3,000 students. So it is a large school. It's 4A for sports classifications when it comes to Texas high schools. Very, very good school sports programs. In addition to that, you've also got additional improvements coming for amenities for the town. So they just recently completed a big new gym, Silo Fit, right there off 775 across from Woodbridge Farms, which is a neighborhood we're going to talk about in a second. And they're building a new baseball indoor sports facility right behind that. So you're going to have select baseball teams there. There's other commercial opportunities there. I've heard they're going to put like a indoor virtual golfing simulator there with all kinds of other stuff too. Downtown at the city park, actually, they just recently built a couple pickleball courts. And you've also got Camden's Adventure Zone, which is an indoor play area for kids. Just a beautiful area and all kinds of stuff just like this, these small town amenities that you don't get in places like New Braunfels, where it's just hundreds of thousands of people essentially that are coming to these places. So let's talk a little bit more about the education opportunities for Lavernia. Lavernia just recently in the last couple of years went to a 4-day school week. Now before they had, I think I saw a number, it was like 15 vacancies as far as teaching positions go. As soon as they went to that 4-day school week, it was like lines out the door of teachers wanting to come to Lavernia. And the big reason for that is you got a 4-day school week and the pay didn't decrease. In fact, they actually increased pay by 5% for their teachers since they've gone up to that four-day school week. It does create some challenges for those working families that have to figure out what to do with their kids on Fridays, but this has been going on for a while. So they have after school programs, Friday programs. There's all kinds of different things you can do for the kids on that Friday whenever you need to drive into San Antonio for work. And looking overall at the ratings themselves, NITS gives them a really, really good rating. I think it's a B-rated district itself. You also have, when you get these, teachers that are just striving to go to a specific district, it lets you have the opportunity to have the best teachers and give your kids the best education. Because ultimately, in my opinion, the teacher is the one that makes the education, not the district itself. So being able to attract the best teachers is what's eventually going to lead to much higher ratings in the future for Vernia ISD. One negative that I do hear a lot of people talk about when it comes to smaller towns is the lack of healthcare. Okay, so that is a concern for sure. But when you look at Vernia, you do have, kind of a small emergency clinic that's there in town. Right down the road in Floresville, about 25 minutes away, you have Connolly Memorial Hospital. So that is an option for a closer drive. So when you add up the schools, the parks, the new facilities and amenities that are coming to Vernia, the community event centers, and the big events that they do have on a yearly basis, even though it's not, you don't have big box stores and all kinds of shopping opportunities, you got plenty of boutique shoppings with get probably better quality stuff at a lot of those places than you do going to Target, for example. Just don't have as big of a store to shop in. Be done quicker. I'm sure the guys would actually like that. But the you got a lot of stuff that is in Lavernia, even though it may seem like there's not as much there. Like I mentioned, one of my favorite things about Lavernia is the housing market itself. So looking at Zillow right now, average price in Lavernia is $480,000. So higher price compared to a lot of these other markets that we talk about a lot. But the difference is there are no cookie cutter communities in here. So you don't have $200,000, tract home developments. They're just popping up all over the place. Most everything here is going to be on an acre or more, larger lots outside of Woodbridge Farms, which is super high-end luxury custom homes on like quarter-acre plus lots. So still larger lots. You've got some good amenities there too. Splash pad, community playground. It's gated and it's literally within walking distance to the schools if you prefer to let your kids ride the bike or walk. You also got multiple other of those acreage communities that have higher end luxury homes. So there's some neighborhoods they have an average price of $600,000 to $700,000. New neighborhoods with new custom homes coming in. Hondo Ridge is a good example for that, where there's really high quality custom builders building homes and selling them as spec homes. And I know a lot of you guys, whenever I'm talking about $600,000-$700,000 houses, may think, okay, well, that completely prices me out of there. Woodbridge Farms, again, smaller lots. You've got homes in the 400s there. There's also smaller, more starter home style communities that are coming up. Now, there is a new manufactured home neighborhood that I've seen that is putting in houses, and you can get houses there on an acre for less than $300,000. Again, manufactured homes, so keep that in mind. There's also another community that is building on, like half acre to acre lots, smaller homes, no garages, like 1,200 to like 2,000 square foot homes. Those homes start below $300,000 too. So you've got some opportunities for some affordable housing in addition to the higher end luxury stuff. But all of these things are on space and have acreage. So these aren't like you're having to settle for a lot where you have 10 foot between your house and your neighbor's house. A huge benefit of having these neighborhoods with more space is that it allows your kids to be kids, man. Like, you have a backyard that is just completely open to their imagination. You get a playground, they can go out there. You can have a full-on football game in that backyard on Thanksgiving, with a 50-yard, drive, right? And when it comes to the commute, yeah, that's the biggest negative of looking at things. If you are commuting into downtown San Antonio, if you're working on like that north side, USA, Valero, UTSA, you've got a good drive. 45 minutes to an hour is a pretty comfortable thought process as far as what your commute would be. But think about it this way. Yeah, you're going to be driving a little bit more, and some people, it's going to just completely eliminate La Vernia, and that's completely fine. But others, use that as like your decompression time. Maybe you have a stressful job. Whenever you're coming home, you use that hour drive, that 45 minute to an hour drive, to just kind of let the stress of work just get out. And whenever you're home, and you can enjoy that community that you've built in La Vernia and enjoy the lifestyle that your kids are allowed to have and afforded to have without being in the hustle and bustle and the noise of being in the city of San Antonio. The bottom line for me is that La Vernia has some of the best housing opportunities without having any of these big cookie cutter developments coming in. You've got plenty of amenities there in town to where you don't need to go anywhere unless you just have, the desire to go to some of these big malls and go to these big box shopping. But you're within a 30 to 40 minute drive to get to those places. Focus on the positives of having a longer commute to get out to a small town like La Vernia and really enjoy the opportunities that living in a small town like this could afford you. Because again, you don't get these very often, and you can't get it in New Braunfels. Bernie is a lot bigger than La Vernia, and you've got almost just as many amenities there in La Vernia as you do in Bernie without having just as much on the downtown area. But it is a big consideration for me if you're looking for something that's a small suburb town with a good school district and within a relatively easy drive to get into San Antonio. So I've got two questions to ask you guys now. If you've made it this far in the video, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Would love to see more of you guys doing that. There's a good chunk of y'all that aren't. And two, if you have any questions about moving to La Vernia or moving anywhere in San Antonio, I would love to be able to connect with you guys. I run the Life in San Antonio, Texas home group. We're all over the San Antonio market. My name is Michael McCall. I'm the team lead. I run this channel. And so if you have any other questions about moving to San Antonio, whether you're looking to move here in 2 days or 2 years, and specifically La Vernia, if you're looking to buy here, sell here, build here, whatever it is, guys, would love to be that resource for y'all. So hit up that email down below or schedule a link at that link in the description. It's a Calendly link now where you can get on my calendar directly. So until the next one, guys, we'll see you there.